Does laughing when kids get hurt just automatically make you a bad person? I don't love it. How old are the kids though? Like, I feel like that matters, you know? If these are like toddlers that are getting hurt and you think that's funny, that could be a red flag. But if this is like a 12-year-old doing something you told them not to do, is that different? Does that make it okay? Happy Apple Picking Day! Just our quick reminders for all of our new friends. If you want to transfer your story to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send it to my subreddit, r/AmITheBadApple. And just a reminder, we all grew up differently. We all come from different branches of the apple tree, meaning we all have different experiences, and those experiences shape our perspective and opinions. So it would be weird if we all had the same exact ones, right? Right. So just don't scream at people if they haven't experienced something the same way that you have. None of us are too old or too wonderful to not learn something new. Just keep an open mind, that's all I ask, and stay civil in the comment section. So without further ado, let's get started with this week's episode of Am I the Bad Apple? Let's go apple picking! Apple number 1. Am I the bad apple for mom shaming my friend? My daughter has had a best friend since kindergarten, and they're currently in 7th grade. This year, my daughter's friend Sarah has gotten quite thin, and her mom has come to me saying that she's not eating. My daughter backed this up and said that she just kind of picks at her food at school. I was worried this could be an eating disorder at the time, and I told my friend to take her to the doctor. My friend needed to leave for a work trip this week and asked me to watch her daughter. No big deal, she's always welcome at our house, so she stayed for the week. The first night she stayed with us, I made meatloaf and she ate it. She didn't get sick, she didn't feel sick, and the rest of the week, anything that I made, she ate with no issue. For most meals, she even came back and got second helpings. At the end of the week, I sat and talked with her about how she didn't get sick and this was great, and let's get to the bottom of why eating was so much easier for you this week. Well, apparently, she only eats TV dinners at home, which make her feel sick. The school food also sometimes makes her feel sick, and so she's cautious about it. My personal guess is that there's some allergen in the preservation foods. She probably needs to get that checked out. When her mom returned, I dropped her off at her house, and I pulled my friend aside and told her everything. I told her that she really needs to start cooking at home and take her to get the allergy check and maybe cool it with the TV dinners. My friend did not like that advice. She said that I was mom shaming her and that she doesn't have the ability to just cook elaborate meals at home like I do, and that it's not her fault and it doesn't make her a bad mom. I wasn't trying to call her a bad mom. I was just trying to help look out for her daughter's safety, but she called me a jerk for overstepping. Am I the bad apple? Should I apologize? Did I do anything wrong? So as we know, I don't have children, so I would really love the moms to also leave some comments down at the bottom. Let me know if I'm on the right track or if there's something that I just don't understand because I'm not a mom. Definitely looking to you guys for guidance. But for me, I really don't think there was anything wrong here. Yes, you hurt your friend's feelings I can see maybe for a few reasons. Maybe she's blaming herself for feeling like she put her kid in the situation. Would I blame her for it? No, she didn't know. She had no idea that was what was causing it, or at least we're gonna go with the assumption that she didn't. No mom wants their kids to be sick. But maybe she's upset that she didn't notice it before. Maybe she's upset that she's blaming herself for her daughter feeling bad. I don't think she's necessarily upset with you. I think she's just kind of lashing out and projecting because she's well, why couldn't I figure this out? Well, am I doing this to my child? I feel like if you give it some time, she will end up apologizing to you, as she should, right? But at the end of the day, no, I don't think that looking out for a child and figuring out maybe she has an allergy that was missed somewhere else, I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm actually very happy that you took the time to talk to your friend's daughter, your daughter's friend. I think she's really lucky to have you in her life, and I think it's so great that you are able to make the kinds of dinner foods that do not upset this girl's stomach, so maybe you can help find some quick and easy recipes that are more manageable for her mother to make at home, or any kind of support, even if it's just emotional support you're offering, which I think that you are. The point being, I don't think there's anything wrong that you did. I don't think there's a reason for you to apologize. And again, I genuinely think if you give this mom some time to calm down, I think she will apologize to you personally. I think she should, but I think that she will come to it on her own. So good, Apple. Apple number 2. Am I the bad apple for calling out my neighbor who clearly hates children? I, 39 female, have a daughter named Soph, 10 female. My family lives in an apartment complex and has an upstairs neighbor who looks around his late 20s, and I don't know much about him except that he lives alone, doesn't have kids, and is deaf. And I only know he's deaf because he has the little implants. He mainly sticks to himself. Well, today, I got a note on my door from the office stating that my daughter and her friend vandalized someone's car by egging it, and that I would be fined $50 because that's a lease violation. I asked my daughter and her friend, and she said that they were just playing around. Her friend had gotten 2 eggs from her house, and they each decided to throw one. She confessed it was the upstairs neighbor's car, but I thought the whole thing was ridiculous. When I was in high school, on Halloween we would egg houses and teepee houses, and all the adults just laughed. It's like kids can't be kids anymore. Not saying that my daughter was right, but like to report it to the office and get me a $50 fine? When I saw him going up to his apartment, I went right up to him and I loudly said, "You know, you didn't have to report us to the office or anything." And he fired back, "Well, your kid didn't have to egg my car." I told him it's an egg. It's a trip to the car wash. It's not like they damaged the car or anything. He rolled his eyes at me and started to go into his house, but then I got mad and yelled, "Well, at least I'll have someone with me on my deathbed." I'm not proud of that statement at all, but I mean, I could have said something worse. I just didn't. When my husband found out what happened, he yelled at me for embarrassing him and said that he was going to write a letter apologizing to our neighbor and that our daughter is grounded from going outside. I disagree with him and said that I already spoke to our daughter about egging people's things, and at the end of the day, she's 10. She's being a child and shouldn't be punished over another child having a power trip. We fought about it, and now I'm just wondering, am I actually in the wrong here? Like, am I the bad apple? Ma'am, you are quite literally the kinds of parents that I complain about all the time. I don't understand why parents like this do you not hear yourselves? Oh, my daughter wanted to have fun, and it's gonna cost you time, energy, and effort, and buying a car wash, but she's 10, and my kids are the best kids in the entire world, so just deal with it. No, do you think I just have an hour out of my day that I'm like, you know what? I gotta take an hour out of my day to go clean my car, but at least that random bratty 10-year-old had a good 5-minute laugh. No! Oh, absolutely not. These are the kinds of parents that are convinced that their children is the center of everyone else's world and that they don't need any consequence, no structure, no accountability, no responsibility. These parents and their kids are why there's a teacher shortage, are why people won't go into education, are why there's an epidemic of bratty, entitled, selfish children that don't function well in the world. And it's not all kids and it's not all parents. Let's make that very clear. It's not all kids and it's not all parents. Again, just repeating that. It's these kinds of parents and these kinds of kids. When your kid, especially at 10, they're old enough to understand, oh, I'm harming someone by doing this. I'm harming someone's things. I'm ruining their day. First of all, for them to think that's the funniest thing in the world, that's a red flag. And you should probably teach your kids that being mean to people should not be giving them so much joy, right? You know? I mean, I see where she gets it from, the fact that you were well, I just want to make this kid feel bad about himself. He's got a severe disability. He's doing what he can. Your daughter ruins his day, vandalizes his things, and you still just want to jab him, make him feel worse about himself. I can't stand these kinds of people. This kind of attitude, it riles me up, it frustrates me, I don't like it, I can't stand people like this. Bad apple all the way. Your husband's right. Bless his heart. I'm so glad he's like taking it upon himself to apologize for you because you're not mature enough to do it yourself. And your daughter should be grounded. Like, it's not like she's 5, she's 10. She knows. Okay, she knows. Apple number 3. Am I the bad apple for telling my brother what he can and cannot wear? I, 14 female, and my brother, 17, recently got into an argument. Here's how it started. When I was walking home from school, there was a grown man wearing only underwear skating around the school. It was very weird to see, and I was disturbed. When I got home, I told my brother, because we normally get along, and I thought he'd agree with me, but he said, hypothetically speaking, well, if a man can't wear swim trunks, you can't wear a bikini. I was very confused because that's swimwear, and when you go to a pool, you can expect to see one wearing revealing clothes, not walking home near a school. I explained this to him, but he wouldn't listen, so I simply just said, fine, I can't wear a bikini and you can't wear swim trunks or take your shirt off. He said it was normal for guys to show off that kind of stuff. And I again explained, that's like a woman going near the school in just a bra and underwear. But before my brother could respond, my mom just told us to stop arguing and pulled me aside. She said it wasn't worth arguing because he's just an immature boy and won't understand, and that I should have just kept my mouth shut. But we were just talking in hypotheticals, and we were trying to make points to each other, and I guess I see what my mom says, but I don't know. Am I the bad apple? Okay, before I talk about this story, I want to talk about how so many of these comments look like young children freaking out about a grown man being in underwear on school grounds. That is not at all what was said in the story. The story says that she was walking home in near the school. I'm assuming if she's walking home, it's what, a mile at most? Meaning she's probably walking around other neighborhoods. Anywhere from her house to the school is going to be near the school. And she also says again, you can expect someone to wear that at a pool, not walking home near a school. Well, if you're walking home and you're walking by neighborhoods have pools, you know, it's pool season, it's summertime. So like, am I super concerned about this dude wearing what is probably a Speedo on a skateboard? Not necessarily. Like, from how I read this, it sounds like a dude on a skateboard going to the pool. That seems pretty normal to me. I can see how like younger kids who do not typically see Speedos might be a little confused, because like, yeah, that doesn't look like typical dude swim trunks, for sure. It can be a little alarming if you don't know that that's a thing. But like, I'd be lying if I said that, you know, my parents in the neighborhood that they live, the pool is like the other side of the neighborhood. So I would be walking, what, 3/4 of a mile in a bikini to the pool. And for me, that was always very normal, you know? Cause like you gotta get to the pool. I wasn't old enough to drive, you just walk there. And I didn't want like a t-shirt tan or anything like that when I was walking to the pool or anything like that. So I usually just walked in my bathing suit with flip-flops. And you know what? We were in walking distance from my middle school. Was I like inappropriate on school grounds? No, but like that's how I read the story. And you might read it differently than me, and that's just what I mean by like we all have different experiences. We all grew up with different lives, so you might have read it differently than me. When I read that story, I immediately think of like when I used to walk to the pool in my bathing suit, and like, yeah, she's probably walking by other neighborhoods and is seeing other people going to their neighborhood pool in swimsuits. And she might not like that, and that's fine, but I don't personally see anything wrong with it. Just like I'm sure there were people that didn't like that I was walking to the pool in my swimsuit. That's fine, you don't have to like it, you don't have to look at me. Everything that needs to be covered is covered, and that's what matters. So like, am I going to say she's right or wrong for just not liking that she stumbled upon that image? No, but like part of me is kind of like leaning towards like not good apple. Just because for me, like, I don't know how to put this into words and like explain it. I know she's 14, but this like already has me kind of worried that she's gonna grow up to be one of those people that's like, oh, well, you shouldn't be running around the neighborhood in a sports bra. Oh, well, you shouldn't be walking around the neighborhood in your bathing suit. Like, you can do that at the pool, but not on the way to the pool, not around. Like, I don't want to see you running in your sports bra from my house. Like that, you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? And that's, again, like, you might hear it completely different than me, but that's how I hear it. I don't want to go bad apple for it because it's like, it's not that big of a deal. It's really not that big of a deal. But like, that's why I might go crab apple. Now the mom, I don't know what the mom is. He's just an immature boy. He won't understand. Understand what? Like, again, like walking around in a bathing suit to me just does not feel like a big deal. So maybe they disagree and that's fine. I definitely don't like how the mom is like, oh, well, boys won't understand, so you should just keep your mouth shut. Like, I don't like that lesson that she's teaching her daughter. Like, I say things all the time, even if I think it's gonna make dudes around me uncomfortable or not. I don't care. Like, guys say things around women that make women uncomfortable. Like, you know, everyone does it. This whole story is just like a little odd to me. I don't agree with anybody. I mean, I was like, even the brother, or except for the brother, like, I totally get that he's like, well, if dudes can't wear swimsuits, then girls can't wear swimsuits. Like, he might be the only one that I'm like, yeah, that's the point. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm not making sense. Am I missing something? Because, like, that's just how I read the story. So just, like, let me know. But, yeah, we'll go crab apple for that one. Apple number 4. Am I the bad apple for laughing when my nephew got hurt and knocked his tooth out? I've been playing with yo-yos my entire life. Since I was about 5, probably. My uncle taught me how to use one, and I've used them in talent shows ever since. I've even been on TV news on a show demonstrating tricks. I worked for a company that makes them on a demo team. I know. Women want me, and men want to be me. My brother can't use a yo-yo to save his life. He just doesn't understand the hand movement, and that's fine. He has plenty of other good qualities and talents. Yo-yoing just isn't one of them. Unfortunately, forethought isn't one of them either. I have a big box of starter yo-yos, and they're lightweight and easy to learn with, so I keep them around for kids. I also have a bunch of balls that have self-retracting mechanisms inside, so you can just get used to the feel. I was showing off for all the kids last weekend at a family birthday party, and of course everybody wanted one, so I went to my garage and got a box of the little freebies. My nephew, however, kept looking at my Maplewood yo-yo. He wanted that one, but I said no. He went crying to his dad, who then went crying to our mom, and our mom came stomping over with my idiot brother. She said that I had hundreds of yo-yos and I could give one to my nephew. I said that's a bad idea. I explained that my yo-yos are set up for professional use. She insisted, and my brother started insulting me for playing with toys at my age, so I took my nephew and I gave him a ball and a starter yo-yo. I told him to start with the ball until he got a feel for it, and then the light plastic one, and that he should only use the fancy one once he was sure of himself and felt good and confident about it. 10 minutes. 10 freaking minutes later, my sister-in-law is bringing him to the bathroom because he got himself in the mouth. I couldn't help but laugh. My brother's pissed because his wife is mad that he got his son a wooden morning star. This is not accurate. The yo-yo was inspired. My mother also appears to have forgotten her part in this play because she's now mad at me for giving the kid exactly what she told me to give the kid. My brother's now even saying that I have to pay the dentist bill to get the rest of the baby tooth out. I told him, fat chance. I warned him. I gave him instructions. It's not my kid, not my responsibility, right? Was I the jerk in this? Like, do I have responsibility here? Was I the bad apple? No. Do I think that there are gonna be some people who say, yes, he had some responsibility? For sure, I think there will be people that say that. Do I agree with that? Like, if you are going to insist someone give something to your child, something that they're saying, hey, this isn't for them, they're too young, it can be dangerous, this is a bad idea, and you're like, no, they got it. And then you don't sit there and watch your kid, that's your own fault. When people are telling you this is not for your child and you insist, it's no one else's fault when it turned out to not be for your child other than yours. Like, this is the same kind of parent, like, no accountability, entitlement, selfish, blaming everyone else in the world, thinking that your child is the center of everyone else's universe. Like, it doesn't work like that. I would absolutely not pay that dentist bill. That is not your job. That is not your responsibility. And I would honestly remind your mom the part that she played in that. Like, that's what, like, grown adult with children goes and tattles to their mommy to make their brother give me their toy. Like, that is so weird to me. Such a red flag. I cannot deal. Vici, that guy's a good apple, huh? You don't really get along with your brother either. Oh, you're such a good girl. Hi, baby. All right, so I got 2 good apples, a bad apple, and a crab apple. Did you get anything similar? Did you get anything different? I would love to hear your opinions down in the comments. Again, remember, you never know when maybe you'll learn something new from the comments and interacting with people in the comments. Maybe you'll teach someone else something new. Maybe you'll teach me something new. Who knows? But just a reminder to be civil, and if you would like a chance for your story to be featured in Am I the Bad Apple, you can send it to my subreddit, r/Am I the Bad Apple. And for your well wishes today is National Wildland Firefighters Day, where we thank and we honor all of the brave individuals who are out there fighting wildfires. Super dangerous, super heroic. We thank you guys. If you know someone in that profession, make sure to give them a big hug. And if you are in that profession, let us know down in the comments so that we can thank you. And this week is also 4th of July, so those of you who are in America, I hope you have a great 4th of July holiday. How do you guys celebrate? We always go to our one of my best friend Anna's house. Her family, we've been family friends for like 25 years. She's like my first friend that I've ever had in my life. So we always go to her parents' house and we do a big barbecue, and we do that every year. We do that for most holidays. And I'd love to hear your traditions down in the comments. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day and hope to see you all next week. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah.